Welcome to TimboGraph, where I teach you the tips, tricks, and techniques that I've learned over the years, as well as the ones that I am currently learning as an artist. I am Timothy Santana. Now, I'm pretty sure if you clicked on this video, you saw the header, so there's no sense in me saying that this is about text. But this is about text. All about text. We're talking about images inside of text. We're talking about textures inside of text. We're talking about text inside of text. It's Inception text. Right, so we're just gonna dive right into it because there's no point in me babbling on about the fact that this is about text. Tutorial! Alright, so we're here in Photoshop, and I've got this image. Now first let me show you, this is what we're gonna be creating for the sample, which is gonna be showing you how to create that image mask for the text. So you see the image is inside of the text, so we're gonna be creating that. Let's shut this off. Hit our image back. So we're gonna start off with our image, the image that we want, right? Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control A, which is just gonna select all the size of the of your artboard there, and you're gonna go ahead and hit Control Backspace, and that's just gonna fill it with whatever color you got over here. And you just hit Control D, gonna deselect, so this way you don't have those marching ants going around. And so this is going to be our background layer. Let's label it. Keep everything tidy. Background. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our text. So let's go ahead. We're going to hit T for the text tool. Or you can just go over here and select the tool. We're going to call this leaf. Now, I've already got my color selected here. The color that I want. If you want to know what color that is, bam. There it is. Okay. This is beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and up this up to about 300. That seems to work. Go ahead and just center this here. We can go ahead and by holding Alt, it's going to actually duplicate, and we can go ahead and drag it. So we can go ahead and drag, and if we actually hold Shift, it's gonna hold it in its center point. So as we drag, you see we can't drag side to side. Even if I move the mouse side to side, it stays within the confines of the one above, that same straight path. So we're going to go ahead and just drop it there, release everything, go ahead, hold Alt, select, hold Shift, and go down. And we're going to do it one more time. Hold Alt, click, hold Shift, and drag down. Bam. And now they are all in sequence. Okay, now this is just the way that Photoshop works, but it goes from first to last, so the bottom is going to be at the top, the top's going to be at the bottom. Just to keep it visually organized, we're going to go ahead and switch that and just do each one like that. So now we've got, if we select the top, second, third, fourth, let's go ahead and label these 2. I'm going to label this leaf 2, let's label this leaf 1. This one will be number 3, and this one, you guessed it. Alright, and since we got our text here, we're going to go ahead and select the first one, hold Shift, go down to the fourth, and that's going to select them. And we're going to go ahead and hit this right here, which is our create a new group, and it's just going to group all those. And we can name this leaf text. Okay, cool. Now we're going to open up that group again, our second one. And what I did here was I just would move over a little bit just to change the color. Awesome. So now we've got this sort of gradient thing going on here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hold Alt and to click and drag while holding Alt the group that we just created. We're going to drag it right above, and it's going to make a copy. I'm going to duplicate it. And what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the group, the copied group that we just made, and we're going to hit Convert to Smart Object. Now once we convert that to a smart object, so it's gone ahead and this is one solid layer, it's not individual, can't really change it, so you want to get your text exactly where you want it to be. So go ahead and design away, and then save this for last. We're going to take this image down here, we're going to hold Alt, and we're going to drag it, click, drag above all of it. Turn it off for now, because we're not going to use it yet. but we just want it to be there. So it's going to be our image copy. Yeah, we'll change that name in a minute. So this is going to be our text. Let's turn our text layer, this one right here. Let's just make it blue because I like keeping organized. Bam, because it's blue. Well, it's more like a teal, but okay. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go to the copy that we made. We're going to hit W, or you can just go over here, and this is your quick selection tool. You just go ahead and just make sure you get everything. Just go ahead. This is the easiest way I found to do it, and it just gets everything. So just go ahead and get everything. Make sure there's nothing behind, and then bam. Because it's only going to trace what's there. It's only going to trace the object that's there, and without any of this, it's transparent. It's only the text, so it's going to trace the text. That's why we made the copy. So this way, that one object. Otherwise, we'd have to do individual. So bam, there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and shut this off. Now we still have our selection there. I'm going to go ahead and turn back on the image copy, and now we're going to go ahead right down here, and this is going to create a new layer mask. Bam, and now we've got that. Looks great by itself. But we're going to go a little step further. Let's do this. So we're going to go ahead and turn back on the leaf text, right? So it's going to be underneath it. We're going to go ahead and take the image copy. Let's title this mask, and we'll make it green. Bam. We can go ahead and drag this a little further down just to keep them together. We're going to go ahead and take this. Make sure that you have your layer selected, not the image mask. So now you want to make sure you have your layer selected, not the image mask. You're going to go over here, drop this down. You're going to select overlay. At least this is how I did this. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just giving you the example that I just showed you. So the great thing about creating a layer mask for the text image is that we can go ahead and hit this chain that's right in between the layer mask and our image layer. If we hit that, what it does is it unlinks it. So say you see there's a big leaf right here. Say we wanted that leaf to be in the center. Now that it's unlinked, so without affecting where the layer mask is, we can go ahead and select the image layer, and we can go ahead and we can drag that wherever we want. So if we want that to be in the middle, bam, we could do that. And then if we want to lock it, bam, it's locked again. And now it all moves together. So you see, it's all non-destructive and it's beautiful. Photoshop, everybody. All I did other than that was apply a little texture here, which I'll just go ahead and drag and drop it. This little lens specks that I have just adds a little bit of that grunge. Yeah, that's great. Right, so we're here in our second example, and what we're going to do now is we're going to create textured text. Now, essentially what I mean by that, because you're probably thinking, oh, well, I could just apply a texture in the same way we applied the image and it would give it texture. Yes, that is 100% true. But what about creating a text that is truly texture? The texture is actually creating transparency within this, where you can actually see the image or the background behind it. So that's what we're going to be creating today, and that's going to be through the use of what's known as vector textures. So vectors being shapes, digital shapes within either Photoshop or Illustrator or whatever you're using. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the vector texture and we're going to apply it. Now you can also do this by using the Photoshop brushes, and you can go ahead and create a new layer mask and go ahead and use the black and white to create that same effect using the brushes. So what we're going to do here is I've already got the background, I've got the leaf text, I've got our copy created. I labeled it _black instead of copy because I wanted it to be a black text. So I've already had a couple stabs, so this way we don't have to waste any of your time. So here we've got the black text, same exact thing, just all in black, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply our texture. So here, I'm going to go ahead, I've already got this one selected here, we're going to drag it, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to go ahead and expand it. The way to expand it without doing all of this craziness is to hold Alt and Shift together while you're dragging, and it keeps it restricted to its native original size. So we're going to go ahead and let's just do it like that for now. That's great. I'm going to hit that check. And what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly like we did with the text. We're going to hit W, or select our quick selection tool from the tool box over there. And we're going to go ahead and select everything, make sure everything within our artboard is selected, and bam, it's going to select everything. Just like it did for the text, it's going to do for the texture. So now that it's selected, we're going to go ahead, we're going to check this off, so this way we don't have to see it anymore. We can go ahead and actually right-click in our artboard and hit select invert. It's going to invert it, because otherwise all we would see is just the specs and not the rest of the text. So we're going to go ahead and go down to our leaf text black, or copy. We're going to go ahead and hit the new layer mask, and bam, I'm going to zoom in for you, and you see it's actually creating transparency within the text. You can actually see through it. So that's basically how you create a textured text. So even if we want, we can go ahead and still say we don't like the color. We can go ahead, double click it. That's going to bring up our layer style. We can go ahead and choose a color overlay, like that red, for instance. We can go ahead, we can create another copy of this, just like, and just convert this to Smart Object. We can go ahead and double click. We can change the, well, first let's drop the fill opacity right here in the blending options. If you go right here, it says fill opacity. You can go ahead and drop that to 0, because add an inner shadow. You see now we've got that shadow. I've already got the shadow created. Those are the specs that I used. Go ahead and hit OK. Actually, you know what? Let's double click on that again. Let's add a stroke. I've already got the stroke created. And bam. Got it set to 11, center, normal, 100, bam. That's the color. And you see now we've got this cool text thing going on. And you know what? That's one of the cool things too, is that even with this texture that's creating transparency, that's an actual true digital texture on the text. By doing the layer mask again, you can go ahead and unlink it. You can go ahead and select the actual. You can actually select the image mask. Go ahead. Let's use our selection tool. You can select the image mask, and you can actually move it around. So that concludes this tutorial. If you have any questions or didn't understand any of it, ask in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell also, so that you can be notified of any future videos, which there will be. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Timbograph, or Twitter, also at Timbograph. Either one of those will do. Right, but anyways, thanks for watching, and I'm Timothy Santana. I will see you next time.